Hello and welcome back. This is lesson 3 on Google Sheets. We have done introductory part, that's lesson 1. And in lesson 2, we looked at the two main sections of the Google Sheets that you need to know very well, because that is what you will interact with. 90% of time you're running your data on Google Sheets. So if you have not subscribed, why don't you go ahead and subscribe now, join the channel and like the video. Let's continue. And don't forget that the reason why we're doing this is we're taking it step by step to make sure that even if you don't know what Google Sheet is and you have never used it, if you go through this series, you go through this course, you will come out as bold as you can and proficient as you can to use it effectively, and you'll be able to analyze data clearly using Google Sheets. You'll be able to do fantastic things with it. All right. So we want to focus on data types and formatting. These are the two focus area for this lesson. So the first one is data types. What data types are acceptable or are common in Google Sheets? We have the text, numbers, and dates. Text, numbers, and dates. So if the data type is wrong, everything else breaks. If you want to sort the data, it breaks. You want to input a formula, you want to apply a formula, it breaks. You want to draw a chart, it breaks. Or you want to use a filter, it breaks. So it is very important that you have the right data in the right cell at every point in time. That is what will give you a clean sheet that you can work on, that you can analyze. So let's do something here. Let's look at how these data we have in front of us are aligned. Okay, you see some of these are aligned to the left, while some are aligned to the right. So if you look at it critically, you see that the texts are aligned to the left, right? Look at this text and look at this also. Look at this. Though you have 001 here, but this is regarded to as text because of this. The first letters here are alphabets, so it's referred to as text. It's considered text, not number. So you can see the alignment that aligns with other texts in the column or in the sheet. And if you look at numbers, numbers align right. You jump or you skip to this column G, you see that text align left here, it aligns left here. But dates and number aligns right. Okay, so you need to understand that once you see data that align left, understand that this Google spreadsheet is looking at it as a text. And if it aligns right, Google Sheet is looking at it as a number or date. So you need to understand that. So if you have a number that align right here, it means that particular cell, the Google Sheet is considering it as a text. And this may happen when you copy. If you copy data from another location and you bring it to the Google Sheet, it's very possible that when you paste it, it may not be properly pasted, and there may be space that will make Google Sheet to read it as a text instead of a number. So when you see that, you need to fix it and make sure that it aligns properly. So, and what you can do is to trim it. So you use trim, which will remove the leading space, the trailing space, and the extra space between words. That's what you use that for. And because we are talking about format and data type, so let's look at here. What are the things we have here? We have text. So how do you want your text to look like? We demonstrate it. So here we've highlighted this particular row, right? If you click this, and we can then select the text in this row. We want it to be bold, and you have it also up here. You can just pick it here or here in the menu, but I pick it from the menu because we're actually covering format and data types. Okay, so you have text bold, and you can see that the text in this row, they are all bold now. Okay, let's go back to format. You see here number, right? You see automatic, you see plain text, you see number. So if you want to change the formatting, or if you want to format a particular cell or a column to read a set of numbers, either you want to make it percentage or you want to make it into decimal place. So this is where you come. You can see percent, scientific notation, that's it, accounting, okay, and financial. So this is how it will record it. Currency, you record it like this. If you want to round it up, you don't want any cents, you just want the dollar value. Then if you round it up, and for dates, you see this is the default one here right now, and that's what we have in the sheet. But we can always change it. You can decide on what type of dates you want. So I will show you how to do that. Let's look at the dates here for the expense dates, right? Let's select this You see the format is in the default format now. But then if you want to format it to appear in a different way, you can go to date, go to number, and sorry, format. Okay. Okay, I think I went to so here, then we go to custom dates and time. Let's click on it. Now you can see if you want the year to come first, followed by the month, then the day, you can select that. You want the month, the day, and so whatever format you want this. That's the one that is there now, but you want just a single digit. If it's single digit instead of 0, 1 or things like that, you select it. If you want this with dash separating month and day and year, you take this format. So you can, and if you want it like this, you can see different ones. So what you should not do is to have a mix of different date formats. If you do that, you will not be able to analyze your data. Because when you want to do analysis and you have conflicting data type in your column, Google Sheet will not respond well. The analysis will break. So let's drop this. Let's make this one. Let's say format, and then number, custom dates. Let's change this. Let's change it to this. Apply. So you can see the date format here. You can see that is different from these other ones. If you decide to analyze your spreadsheet, you will discover that it will not respond because it will break. You don't have a uniform data type in this column. So you have to clean it. You have to make sure that you correct that and have the same type of data in each column. With that, you'll be able to analyze your data. So we've talked about the alignment, talked about the how you can change or format the cell or the column. So you see we formatted a single cell here under expense dates. And if you want to format the entire column, you just highlight on the first cell up there and go back. And let's go to number, custom date and time again. So let's make everything this and apply. You can see that they all have the same date type now. So if you want to analyze it, you have to change this also to this format, or you return this to this format. So there has to be agreements in the date formats for you to be able to analyze your data. Okay, so let's try and return this to the default. Okay, so this is what we have. No, this is what we have there. Okay, now we don't have a leading zero here, so we need to go back. and number. You can see that this one is checked now because that's the one we have right now. Custom date and time. Let's look at the one that have. Okay. This one is month. First letter of a month. No, we don't want just the first letter of the month. Okay, let me just you can easily do this. Just undo. Okay, we're back. Right. So now another thing about data is that let's see what we can do with some of this here. In the previous video, we did a sorting of column from A to Z and Z to A. So that one is just simple. Let's do filter. Let's create a filter. When you want to create a filter, it has to be you can decide to create filter for each column. So you can see that that's like a drop down. So what you do is you go to data, create a filter. Okay, so we have the filter here now. And the need for filter is when you have different, you have a similar occurrence in some of the cells. For example, you have a product or you have products that sell. You have some that have sold, maybe store. Let's say you have a store and each store has the sales figure. And some stores have sold up maybe 50, 5 stores have sold 30, 32, 31, 44, and things like that. So if there are some that have the same number, you can filter. See, let me see the stores that have sold above this number. So now what we want to do is we want to filter and see what names here have 1,200. So we just do this. So if you want 1,200, then you uncheck this. It will not show. You uncheck this and you uncheck this. Then you click OK. So we see John Doe here. Let's bring it back to okay. So let's make one of these to have a 2. Let's make this 1,6. Let's make it 1,200. All right. Let's try that so that you will understand the filter. Okay, so we have 2 now that are 1,200. So we remove the 2,000, we remove 1,400, and we do this. So this, it has filtered out the numbers that do not fall into the group that we have selected. We have selected the group of 1,200 now. Okay, so that's why we have only these two individuals, John Doe and Sarah Kim. Okay, so similarly, we return this. we can go to notes here and see which transactions have completed successfully. We just remove reimbursement, we remove need review, and click OK. So we have these two. So we have the one of 2000 and one of 1200 transactions that have completed successfully. Okay, so that is for sorting, and you always see this sort sign on the column that is being sorted. So this is our reference point now. Okay, if you want to drop this down back and bring up other rows, you have to come back to this column that we sort. It's always one column you will sort. Okay, you sort one column and you have something like this. Let's say if you do this, you see that you don't have enough data once you have sorted on one column, because you only have what that sorting has given you. It has removed the detail for other rows. So you cannot effectively sort another column. I want you to note that. You cannot effectively sort another column when one column is already under sorting. Otherwise, you will lose values unknowingly. And it's possible for beginners to make this mistake. So I want you to pay attention to it. Once you sort one column, if you want the entire table, you want to sort the entire table again, you have to go back and release the column. Okay, so you have to go back and release it so that you can have your full table again. Then you go, if you want to sort by amount like we did earlier, you can sort by date, you can sort by status, and like that. So for example, if you have this up to 1,000 individuals, and you, of course, you know, you will have some people in IT, some in HR, some in finance, and some in marketing. So if you want to sort by department, you only want to see the record for people in HR department, then you sort and remove every other department except HR department, and then you have data for all the data for HR department. You can work on that, analyze it, and bring the remaining record back when you finish your work. All right, so that's what you can do with sorting. Okay. Create group by view notes, because we have our cursor on notes. Save as filter view, as slicer, named ranges. You can name the ranges and name functions. Let's assume that we have this here as a, let's put total. And then you want to sum this particular amount. So what do? You click on this, and here you don't even need to click on the, no, you just do equal. You can see that once I put equal, it's already helping me to, it's giving me an autocomplete formula. So sum D2, you can see that we are in D, but what? Starting from row 2, D2 to D5. So you see your column there. That's what you put to show that you want that range. So you remember I was doing range there before. So you want this range from D2 to D5. So if I do that, you can see that's already summed up all this, and we have 5,800. So you can do what we did earlier, that we made this bold. So you have the total here, and you can decide to do more of formatting. You can make a border and things like that to make it look good. So briefly, that is what we discussed in this lesson 3. So we continue in lesson 4. Make sure you continue with the series, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the channel. I'll see you in the next video.